أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم لقد أرسلنا رسلنا بالبينات وأنزلنا معهم الكتاب والميزان ليقوم الناس بالقسط. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ramadan with Zidane, and today is the 10th of Ramadan. Hope your Ramadan is going healthy, wealthy and wise, and everybody is having a great time reaping the rahmas and barakas of this month. We have finally reached one ashr of Ramadan. It has been completed, and 10 days and only 20 days remaining till Eid. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make this Ramadan the best Ramadan for us in our life, and make it a blessed and happy Ramadan and the Ramadans after this. So we are back with the Quran daily, and it is of course Surah Naml. It is the 27th surah of the Quran, 93 verses. It has a sajda which we have already done. Go and watch part number 8 and part number 9 if you want to see it, and we're gonna start again. So one important thing before going, as I was telling you, that this is the surah which is very unique, because normally surahs have three themes: Taskeen bi ala illah, the signs of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, they're brought. Taskeen amba rusul, which is when the messengers they were sent, but they didn't believe and they were destroyed, the other qawm. So like Surah Shuara, Surah Safat, that is the Amba Rusul, Taskin bi ala illa, Surah Nahl, Surah Rahman. Then we have Fabiya ala Rabbikuma tukaziban. And for example, in Surah Shuara, Amba Rusul, Kazabat qawmu Nuhin al-Mursaleen, Surah Safat, Walaqad nadana Nuhun falani'mal mujibun. And then we have Qasasul Anbiya, which is stories of the prophets. Most shining example, Surah Qasas, Surah Yusuf, and just like the Surah Hud, these surahs, they have the stories of the prophets. And Surah Maryam, of course, that is another one which has the story of the prophets. So anyway, going back to where we are at the story of Sulaiman. He invited the queen of Saba, and what happened then was it came up to a standoff. And Sulaiman alayhi salam, he said to her, before that, before we start, of course, remember, A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. It was said to her, enter as-sarh. Sarh has two meanings. Now, it's a debate between scholars that what sarh really meant, because there are two meanings that is the most accepted. There are different meanings, but two are the most accepted meanings. Sarh either means a slab of, it's like a glass surface with water underneath it. You might have seen people doing magic tricks, like they show that they are walking on water to people, like they have actually installed like a glass surface over it, and it looks like that they're walking over water. It is an illusion, but it actually looks like that it is water. It doesn't look like there's any surface. It is so transparent, but they're actually walking on a glass surface. So just like that, it was something like this, but very smooth, so you couldn't even see that it was either glass or was it. And another is sarh, which is palace. So these are the two meanings. So it was said, Qila laha dukhuli sarh, enter as-sarh. Falamma ra'athu, and when she saw it, hasibathu lujjatan, she thought it was a pool. Wa kashabat an saqayha, and she tucked herself up to dive into the pool, to go into the pool. There are different interpretations of this verse. Qala innahu sarkhun. Then Sulaiman alayhi salam said it is a sarh, which again the two interpreted meanings, either a palace or a slab of glass underneath water. Mumarradun min qawarir, made out of smooth glass. Then the queen of Saba said, Qalat Rabbi inni zalamtu nafsi, indeed I have wronged myself. Wa aslamtu, and I surrender ma Sulaimana, along with Sulaiman, lillahi rabbil alameen, to the Lord of the world. Now this is the end of Qasasul Anbiya. Now we come back to Amba'ur Rusul. He was sent to the prophets, and then they disbelieved and they were destroyed. So first of all we had Amba'ur Rusul, then again we had after this the Qasasul Anbiya, story of Sulaiman. Then we come to Amba'ur Rusul. Now again, what happened to the queen of Saba? What happened to the qawm of Saba? What happened was that they turned to Islam, but when the queen of Saba died, after that they started worshipping the sun again, and that is in Surah Saba. And what happened after that was that if they were very ungrateful, and because of that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala destroyed them by a flood and made them disperse in the lands. And people, it was that their nation was destroyed, but people still were there of the Saba people, and there are a lot of people who have descended from the Sabans in the time of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Anyway, back to the surah, and now we are starting Amba wa Rusul part 2. وَلَقَدْ أَرْسَلْنَا إِلَى ثَمُودَ أَخَاهُمْ صَالِحًا أَنِ اعْبُدُوا اللَّهَ فَإِذَا هُمْ فَرِيقَانِ يَخْتَصِمُونَ. And indeed we sent towards the qawm of Samud Salih, and then Salih alayhi salam, he said that to obey Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But then there were two parties that started quarreling each other, because they were the believers, mostly of Salih salam's tribe, and the weak, Qala nu'minu bika wattabakal ardhalun, just like this, the weak people are from Salih alayhi salam's tribe, and Samud, most people of the Samud. Qala ya qawmi lima tasta'jiluna bis sayyati qabla al hasana. He said, oh my nation, why do you hasten with the sins before the goodness? لَوْلَا تَسْتَغْفِرُونَ اللَّهَ لَعَلَّكُمْ تُرْحَمُونَ. Why don't you seek the forgiveness of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so you can receive mercy? Then قَالُوا طَيَّرْنَا بِكَ وَبِمَنْ مَعَكَ. They said that indeed we see a bad omen with you and whoever is with you. Now in Surah Yasin there is also قَالُوا إِنَّا تَطَيَّرْنَا بِكُمْ. There is from the town of Antioch, and it is about that story. Another story over there, and there is this story too. There is these two stories, and they saw bad omens. Again, they were just trying to put an excuse. And then, قَالَ طَائِرُكُمْ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ. It is said that then Salih Islam said, all your bad omens be with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ تُفْتَنُونَ. But you are a people who are being tested. Then, وَكَانَ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ أُرَهْتٍ يُفْسِدُونَ فِي الْأَرْضِ وَلَا يُصْلِحُونَ, and يُصْلِحُونَ, and they were in the city 9 chiefs, and they used to always spread fasad and rebelliousness in the earth, and they never would reform or bring peace. Then, now this is a very important verse. I'm going to explain after I recite this verse. قَالُوا تَقَاسَمُوا بِاللَّهِ لَنُبَيِّتَنَّ وَأَهْلُهُ ثُمَّ لَنَقُولَنَّ لِوَلِيِّهِ مَا شَهِدْنَا مَهْلِكِ أَهْلِهِ وَإِنَّا لَصَادِقُونَ. Now, why is this verse being told? Of course it was that they said, swear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in private that we are gonna make a secret attack on him and his household at night, and then we were gonna say to his neighbors and the people of his tribe, we did not see that his tribe, that his house was destroyed, and indeed we are truthful. Now, it was a way of warning in this verse about how the people of Quraysh, they were gonna launch an attack on Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Now they knew that if they were gonna kill Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam with only one person from one distinct clan of the Quraysh, then Banu Hashim will be able to take revenge of it, and they would of course then subject them to revenge, and they would lose a person. Now, because it was the normal Arab custom, so then they thought that we were gonna bring in about from all the 20 or however clans of Quraysh they were, one young person from each clan of the Quraysh, and they would all attack Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And because of that, when they are gonna kill him, they can't take revenge, because what happens is that you can't take revenge on 20 clans, like you can only take on one. Why on 20? So they were thinking of this plan. But what happened was, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala let Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam know of this beforehand. And what happened is very infamous, we know about this, that they waited all night, and Allah and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu to sleep in his place. So when they saw Ali radhiyallahu ta'ala anhu in the bed, they thought that it was Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and they waited, and then they slept. Allah caused them to sleep, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam departed, and then after that, you know what happened. The rest is history. So there is the verse. It is in Surah Yasin. It is a very important verse. It's going to be إِنَّكَ لَمِنَ الْمُرْسَلِينَ عَلَى صِرَاطٍ مُسْتَقِيمٍ تَنزِيلُ الْعَزِيزِ الرَّحِيمِ لِتُنذِرَ قَوْمًا مَا أُنذِرَ آبَاؤُهُمْ فَهُمْ غَافِلُونَ لَقَدْ حَقَّ الْقَوْلُ عَلَى أَكْثَرِهِمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُؤْمِنُونَ إِنَّا جَعَلْنَا فِي أَعْنَاقِهِمْ أَغْلَالًا فَهِيَ لِلْأَذْقَانِ فَهُمْ مُقْمَحُونَ وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ بَيْنِهِمْ سَدًّا وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ سَدًّا فَأَغْشَيْنَاهُمْ فَهُمْ لَا يُبْصِرُونَ. So they made from behind them a barrier and from ahead of them a barrier, so they can't see. This was the verse that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam recited when they were asleep. So they were like you could see there was a barrier and they didn't see it, and because of that Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam went safe and sound. Then and they caused a plan, they formulated a plan, and we also formulated a plan, and they didn't know about that. Again, the Quraysh, the people, the clans of the Quraysh, they made plans, and of course this is again referencing to that. Let them make plans. They're gonna enjoy for a little while. فَذَرْهُمْ يَخُوضُوا وَيَلْعَبُوا حَتَّى يُلَاقُوا يَوْمَهُمُ الَّذِي فِيهِ يُسْعَقُونَ. So that's the thing which is said over here. Then after that, فَانْظُرْ كَيْفَ كَانَ عَاقِبَةُ مَكْرِهِمْ أَنَّا دَمَّرْنَاهُمْ وَقَوْمَهُمْ أَجْمَعِينَ. So see what is all of this, what has happened to them, who they made a lot of plans. So what happened to them? That they were destroyed. Then what happened? فَتِلْكَ بُيُوتُهُمْ خَاوِيَةٌ بِمَا ظَلَمُوا. And this is what happened, this is what remained of their houses, of what they used to do. And then, إِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ لَآيَاتٍ لِقَوْمٍ يَعْلَمُونَ. Now, there were two houses that they used to make. There were two types of houses that Samud used to make. One was the houses that were in the plain. Now, these are not preserved by history, so we can't see them now. But the houses that were carved into the mountains, وَتَنْحِتُونَ مِنَ الْجِبَالِ بُيُوتًا فَارِهِينَ. Still, if you go to those archaeological sites, you can still find them. They are still over there. It's in Jordan, and there is one in northwestern. It is in the part of Hijaz, northwestern Saudi Arabia. And yeah, you can even go there right now. You can go there and you can see it. You can still find that in those mountains, in those hills. You can like search House of Samud. If you search it, you are gonna find in those mountains there were like houses carved in there, and you can even go inside those houses. So you can see that it is an ayah. Inna fi zalika la ayah wa ma kana aktsaruhum mu'minin. Qul siru fil ardi fanzuru kayfa kana akibatu allazina min qablihim wa kanu ashadda minhum quwwa. Anyway, next one. Wa anjayna allazina amanu wa kanu yattaqun. But we saved those people who are good and those who are pious and those who used to do taqwa. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those people who do taqwa and as-sabiqun as-sabiqun. Now, story of Lut alayhi salam. وَلُوطًا إِذْ قَالَ لِقَوْمِهِ أَتَأْتُونَ الْفَاحِشَةَ وَأَنْتُمْ تُبْصِرُونَ. Do you do the indecencies and it is all open? أَإِنَّكُمْ لَتَأْتُونَ الرِّجَالَ شَهْوَةً مِّن دُونِ النِّسَاءِ. Do you approach the men in the lust rather than the women? بَلْ أَنْتُمْ قَوْمٌ تَجْهَلُونَ. Indeed, you are a senseless nation. Then what the Qawm of Lut said. Now, Qawm of Lut, they were known for robbing and stealing from the trespasser. They were not very good people, and because of that, most of the caravans, they used to avoid that area that was near the Dead Sea. Of course, in that day, the Dead Sea was not there. So when they were destroyed, then the Dead Sea was created. It was as a sign. So even if you go, that's the lowest point on the earth. فَمَا كَانَ جَوَابَ قَوْمِهِ إِلَّا أَنْ قَالُوا اخْرِجُوا آلَ لُوطٍ مِّنْ قَرْيَتِكُمْ. They said that, take away Lut from this nation. إِنَّهُمْ أُنَاسٌ يَتَطَهَّرُونَ. Indeed, they are trying to be clean and pure. Now, this is said in sarcasm that, okay, we are sinners, we are dirty, then you are clean and pure, you don't deserve to live here. Then, فَأَنْجَيْنَاهُ وَأَهْلَهُ إِلَّا امْرَأَتَهُ قَدَّرْنَاهَا مِنَ الْغَابِرِينَ. Then we saved him, and we saved his family except his wife who stayed behind. وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ مَطَرًا وَأَمْطَرْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ مَطَرًا فَسَاءَ مَطَرُ الْمُنذَرِينَ. And we sent upon them a shower of stones, and it was a worst shower of stones. Of course, it was a very bad shower of stones. The stones, they pelted upon the people, and then what happened was, there were like marks on their faces, so that it was known that which place they would be hit. And then the town was flipped, and it was turned upside down. And then after that, what happened was, it was created in the Dead Sea. وَتَرَكْنَا فِيهَا آيَةً بَيِّنَةً لِقَوْمٍ يَعْقِلُونَ. And that was, of course, the Dead Sea that was made over there. And even now you can see it is so salty, the Dead Sea, you can't swim in it. I mean, you can't swim in it, because if you go there, it is so salty that it is not gonna, you're never gonna sink in it. You're just gonna float. You can't even swim in it because of the buoyancy effect. You're just gonna float on top of it, and no life lives in it because it is so salty. It is uninhabitable for any kind of plankton, any kind of fish, any kind of marine life. So you can see it is in the Dead Sea, and it's the lowest point on earth. Then, قُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ وَسَلَامٌ عَلَىٰ عِبَادِهِ الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَىٰ. All praises be to Allah, and peace be upon His slave who has chosen. Now, this is also in Surah Hijr, inshallah, in the future season we will do this. Allah has chosen from His slaves a select number of people. Again, قُلِ الْحَمْدُ لِلَّهِ وَسَلَامٌ عَلَىٰ عِبَادِهِ الَّذِينَ اصْطَفَىٰ. اللَّهُ خَيْرٌ أَمَّا يُشْرِكُونَ. Is Allah better, or what they have done, what they have associated with Him? Now, after this, it is the follow-up to this verse, and this is the new juz starting. Surah, it is the 20th juz. It is called Amman Khalaqa, and it will go on from Surah Naml, and it will end in Surah Ankabut. So we will do this tomorrow. This is all for today, and may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the tawfiq. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us the capacity to become from the believers in the sabiqun as-sabiqun. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala grant us Jannatul Firdaus. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make us from those people who have the light that is coming from their hearts and from their right hands on the day of judgment, when we are going to cross the sirat. ربنا أتمم لنا نورنا واغفر لنا إنك على كل شيء قدير ربنا لا تجعلنا فتنة للذين كفروا واغفر لنا ربنا إنك أنت العزيز الحكيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.